Hey y'all, what's up? Jamie, that's me here, honey. Welcome back to the channel. Now, listen, I want us to talk a little bit about Real Housewives, but I really want us to get into a piece of this interview that K Michelle did with Cam Newton. So we have to check that out. Now, if you're new to the channel, hey, bitch, make sure you're coming into the video, you're liking, you're commenting, and you're also subscribing to the channel. Okay? Good. Now, let us go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I want us to tap into is the fact that Ralph has been trying to air Miss Drew Sidora out in an effort to get the audience to turn against her in some type of fashion, to expose her, maybe get the heat off his own back, for people to maybe have a piece of sympathy for him or understanding or realize that he's not as bad as we may think that he is, or whatever the case is. And unfortunately for him, it's not necessarily working. And he came out to have a few things to say on last week regarding Tampa, and him saying that this is something that he said, and I have to go over here to the Jasmine brand first to just check it out real quick. He says the love and support was real. I wasn't just a husband, I was a partner, investor, music producer, and strategist behind the scenes. I poured in Drew's career. He says before and during Real Housewives of Atlanta, helping shape key moments like the autograph with Latoya and the infamous dog bone with Fatum. Our mission was clear: to turn Drew into a household name, build businesses, and create a lasting legacy for our kids. I told Drew several times over the years to show up authentic and make reality TV match our reality. Unfortunately, here we are, but nonetheless, I wish her well. You can't possibly wish her well when you're doing the antics that you're doing, in my personal. And also, him putting this information out kind of makes me feel like he got with Drew as an opportunist. So I'm seeing that she was like a up and coming actress and all of that. Like, I feel like everything was strategic. I do believe they got together post her being on um what was it, the game, or whatever the case is. But yeah, he just, it's giving heavy on the side eye. And I hate how he acts as though he was so instrumental in her career, and I feel like he's doing this in an effort to justify whatever money the judge may give him or whatever. And I don't like that. I don't really know all his reasonings, but I just find it to be very interesting when I'm thinking about her sister. I could have sworn her sister Allison was extremely instrumental in her career before you came along, during, and now after. Okay, but okay then, Ralph, whatever you want to do, honey. Okay, but Kenya Moore did come to the front, and Kenya had something to say, and I'm with Kenya on this. Kenya says, let's slide over here where she says at the bottom, "Corny snitch, you lost. So now take your corny receipts and go away." All right. And I agree. Everything about it is giving corny. It's giving corny. All right. Ralph Corny Pittman is what they call him. But I had to tap into Miss Kenya Moore a little bit. She's been a little active over there on the social media. I did see where Kenya's supposed to be having some type of um closet thing that she's doing, where she's selling some of her wardrobe from her closet at her location. I don't know if it took place this past Saturday or if it was coming up on the next Saturday, but she's supposed to be having some type of Kenya's Closet event coming up over there at her location for the people that's interested in getting them some Kenya Moore clothing. All right, so that's what Kenya has going on. But I do want us to get into more, because Kelli did get a chance to sit down with the Nene Leakes down to the BET Awards, and they talked about some housewives, and I wanted us to get into that for a second. Let's get that on the screen for you guys to go ahead and check out. And here we are. Let's see what this conversation was about.
One of the housewives did not show up at the reunion. Were you guys surprised?
We were surprised, but I mean, clearly not shocked.
Really?
I mean, I just felt
I
like
have just never known any housewife to not show up. That's like making history right there.
it was definitely history. She definitely made history.
Yeah, nobody's ever done that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, but you got to think about somebody who doesn't want to take accountability either.
Yeah,
you know,
that's kind of sad.
It's really sad.
Yeah, because
honestly.
that's what it's all about when you join the show. Everybody know in the end you all are going to come back together. And you're going to hash things out for the last time for the season. So that was kind of sad and unfortunate. But so
I have to say, pause here. I feel like Nene is saying that's really sad, because Nene, from my understanding, was very instrumental in part of the reason why they started to have reunions over there on Housewives and stuff. So I feel like she thinks that's like a super big deal. Like, you have to do the reunion. But then Nene, girl, listen, it is kind of given. I would rather her not show up versus come to the reunion, sit there, not want to answer any questions, and just got their head in their hand and just sitting there like, I'm not talking about nothing. I'm not addressing these ladies, or even slamming down a dang on laptop at the reunion. You know, that's sad as well. So you probably come out better not even showing up if you're gonna show up with those type of antics. But that's just my personal.
You be returning?
I hope so.
Oh, I think you will.
You think so?
Yeah.
Are you coming on over?
I get something like papa, start speaking another language.
I think we'll have a good time. I think we'll have some good kiki.
You know, I don't know. One of the housewives did not show up at the.
All right, so that is what's being said. Okay, Nene saying she don't know. I'm gonna run that back.
Were you guys surprised?
You know, we were surprised, but I mean, clearly not shocked. You know,
really.
I mean, I just felt like
never known any housewife to not show up. That's like making history right there.
It was definitely she definitely made history.
Yeah, nobody's ever done that.
Absolutely.
Mary Cosby did that on Salt Lake City, but I guess Nene is speaking in terms of Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Absolutely, I think. But you got to think about somebody who doesn't want to take accountability either. Yeah,
that's kind of sad.
It's really sad.
Yeah, because that's what it's all about when you join the show. Everybody know in the end you all are going to come back together. And you're going to hash things out for the last time for the season. So that was kind of sad and unfortunate. But so will you be returning?
I hope so.
Oh, I think you will.
You think so?
Yeah.
Are you coming on over?
I get something like papa, start speaking another language.
I think we'll have a good time. I think we'll have some good kiki.
You know, I don't know. I'm one of the housewives.
Interesting. Okay, because it sounded like for a second when I was listening to Nene, it sounded like she was saying, I guess I would come over or whatnot. And I'm like, it was like, I guess. And I'm like, huh? What is that? Like, you know, people have been rumoring that around. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. You know, it does seem like she's in a better place with NBC Universal, but I don't know. They may still be a little bit sour about the fact that, you know, Nene sued him. So maybe Bravo not ready for her to come back over yet. Maybe Andy's not ready. Like, okay, that's cool. Y'all could deal with her, but I'm not trying to deal with her just yet. Let me hop over here to Housewives from My Housewife to see if they have anything else additional. I do want us to tap into a snippet of what Don Juan had to say. You guys know he works with Kandi, and he talked about the Brit Edie situation over on his channel. I did watch it the other day, and it looks like Housewives from a Housewife does have a snippet, so we are going to check that out. But let us get into these clips to see if there's anything additional that they had from this sit down that Nene had with Kelli that we didn't capture already.
Tell me everything, but I know you guys just had the reunion. So how was that?
We got into that.
Ew.
Listen, we got to tell everybody how we really met.
Yes.
So let me start. So the first time Kelli and I met, I was inside of Houston, which is probably one of our great restaurants in Atlanta.
Yes.
Kelli was there. I was sitting with some more girls, and we were having girl talking. Kelli was sitting at the bar.
Yes, honey.
And somebody said like the new housewife is at the bar or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And somehow Kelli and I connected. Let me tell you how much of a girl's girl Kelli really is. Kelli left the bar and came and sat with me. She was finished eating. I was still eating.
Yes.
She waited until I finished dinner. We had drinks. We ended up spending hours.
We did.
Inside of Houston.
We had a good time.
And we had a great time.
We had a blast.
You actually turned me on to a whole new lemon drop.
Yes, with the splash of grapefruit.
Yes. I was like, I didn't know they do them like
that.
And so we had such a great time. Yep. So Kelli, welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Listen, we got to tell everybody how we.
So that's that. They met down there at a restaurant or whatnot. I had a great old time. So let us slide over because I want us to check out what Don Juan had to say about Brit Edie and the situation. Okay, he kind of hints at the past episode. Remember when Brit took off her bra, and then next thing you know, when they put the camera on her, I could tell that she took down her entire dress, and I could tell that based on the reaction from the ladies. And then when they put the camera back on her, it didn't look like she had that dress on, even though the dress was more like similar to her complexion of skin. I said, oh, so she done went and got full butt naked. So he kind of touches on that as that may be a reason. Maybe they had more in the footage that they showed of her body that was blurred out, and how they went back and edited it because it was allegedly at her request to edit some things. And he has some stuff to say, so let us tap into this for a second.
Sources tell me that the episode that aired, it was actually edited because Brit Edie actually stripped butt naked in front of the camera crew, in front of all of the ladies. In the episode that all of the ladies saw prior to the reunion, she was butt bookie naked in front of everybody. they even have confessionals talking about how they were not expected to see her vajayjay. They saw the breast, and then all of a sudden all of the clothes come off. This is allegedly. Allegedly, she took all her clothes off. This is the episodes that all of the ladies will get prior to coming to reunion. I think she strategically was going to come to reunion, but there are things such as she makes a slight comment about Shamia's child and like, oh, she should be taking care of her child. Her and Kelli have a mishap is what I think. And she makes a comment about some allegations about Kelli. And in this episode that they've already shown now, but they edited, I'm assuming they may have edited last minute, Britt is naked in front of everyone. So the fallout from her, like she gets butt naked is what they say. Butt naked.
And she wasn't drunk, I don't think. Because she said she wasn't taking no shots that day.
Yeah. So you don't see it.
Like, yeah, she does go over there and say, pour me up 2 of them, bitch. But I don't recall whether I saw her take the 2 shots before she took the clothes down or if it was afterwards. But even with taking those 2 shots, I don't think that, in my opinion, those shots really got in your system fast enough for you to, say that you were probably drunk or whatever when you pulled your clothes down. So I don't know, but this is crazy. It's doing all of this to protect the image when people would rather you just be authentic, and then it wouldn't really be a need to protect it if you just stand in your SHI and just like, yeah, I did that. I had a great time. I had fun. Everybody's had some fun out here. My stuff was, on television. Yours wasn't. Like, I don't know, but I think the way she's going about protecting her image, and I feel like it's parts that really don't even got to be protected in my personal, is why she's here. But okay, and I say why she's here as in the fans just not really feeling her and feeling like she's a liar and all of this stuff. So
yeah, but in the video that all of the ladies saw, they saw her they were there and they had commented on it, and so in the clip that everyone saw, they saw her get naked. Right? She saw herself get naked. So at that point, I think that she was upset because they were showing this. I think she had already had in the back of her mind, I threatened to sue y'all prior, and she didn't like what was happening with her for the rest of the season. So her first result is they put me down this road of being sexually harassed and put me in this light. And she was, from what I hear, she was not intoxicated. She actually, had taken 1 shot, I think is what I saw on camera, but it's what I'm hearing. But literally and figuratively, she was naked. No, she did not ask for consent before she flashed everyone, including the crew. And I can tell you by my own perspective, because I did tape a episode this season, and I've taped for 15 seasons, that most of the crew is men. Sources tell me that
girl, this is going to be an interesting case here. This is going to be an interesting case to me. All right. I really don't see her winning much when it comes to this case at all. If she does, good for her, because Bravo played themselves, right? But at the same time, like, this ain't looking good for you, ma'am. It's really not. But we'll see how it's gonna play out. All I can tell you is good luck. Good luck to her in this case that she has against Bravo. 20 million is crazy. 20 million is crazy. I'm just, child, I need to talk to an attorney that be, specializing in this type of stuff, because I really want to get their thoughts on what they think about this case and whether she has one, and she really, obviously that attorney that she worked with felt like she had enough of a case for them to bring it forward and to ask for $20 million from Bravo. However, some of that stuff just ain't looking right. I mean, girl, leave y'all thoughts down below about it, because it's not making sense. But good luck to her. Next up, what I do want us to get into is this sit down that K. Michelle had with Cam Newton. And when K Michelle sat with Cam Newton, of course, they started talking about Beyonce. They first of all, they spent so much of the time talking about um, how black men and black and women show up in relationships or whatever, how he could be better, how, the women are not really liking him, supporting him based on how he's been handling, his girlfriend Jazzy, and the mother of his about to be second child with her. Okay, but I think it may be his eighth or ninth kid in total. But yeah, and he talked about that and said that he didn't know some of the things he was saying and doing was harming Jazzy and making her feel away until she expressed that to him. And I thought that was interesting, considering the fact that I do feel like at times Jazzy will come to the internet and play it up like it's a shrug shoulders type thing, as if we don't know what we're talking about, or the fans, anybody that's been over there on her page saying stuff, and just anybody that's had commentary on it, because I know I have as well. But people don't know what they're talking about, and it's whatever, and la la la, whatever, downplaying the situation basically, only to find out that it does affect you, it does bother you. You don't have to come online and try and act like you're unbothered by it, or people don't know what they're talking about. Only for him to confirm that it did make her feel away, and she had to let him know, like, yo, when you say certain things, like, it makes me to punch it back, and she ain't never lied when she said that. Okay. And he's saying that he wasn't aware. You got to make him aware of certain things. And I'm like, not everything. Some stuff you should know. You should be in the know to know how this is likely going to affect your partner. You see the stuff that be happening on social media, how the people be on her head. And it is based on things that she said before when she's tried to down other people. Now she's found herself in a similar situation as those people. And he doesn't help or make it any better with some of the things that he has to say. So I just feel like, read the room. You read it enough to know. You know what's going on. I don't think she has to go to you about a lot of stuff. But all in all, they talk about that. And, him and K Michelle had a pretty good conversation for a long time talking about that type of stuff. And then they get back into, her career, her music, how she came about, her doing country music and stuff. And K Michelle felt like, the black audience turned on her and they laughed at her. And I didn't necessarily see that. But also, I'm a K Michelle fan, so I already knew what her background was. You know what I'm saying? I already knew that, and I also was more intrigued with her because we're a part of the same organization and stuff. And we both went to HBCUs. I didn't go to FAMU, but, being a mom in college, becoming a mom when you're in college, like, I had a lot of things that I could relate to K Michelle on. So I definitely was a fan. So for me, I knew about her interest of wanting to be in country music and getting a scholarship for yodeling and things like that. But I was like, I didn't know the black people really turned on her and started dragging her, because whenever I would look online, I would see support for her. But, sometimes you may get a few of those people that says negative things, and it may be it may just be 5 comments. But the fact that they're coming back to back, it may make it bigger than what it is. But that is her experience, and that is what she said. So they discussed that. And then she talks about Beyonce coming into the game, and, how it made her really happy because she felt like it was going to make people pay attention now that Beyonce was in the game. And she said that I believe it's Nashville or Memphis, somewhere in Tennessee, there's about like 12 black country artists that stick together, this, that, and the other, and they still trying to, make their way in. All right. And shout out to Beyonce for assisting with that. So she talks about her love for Beyonce, and her work ethic and everything. And then it kind of lends itself over to her having a conversation about Tamar, which she drugged the shit out of Tamar. Okay. And we are going to check out a little clip. Now, I may show a little piece on the screen, but I'm not trying to get flagged by Cam's team. So we're definitely going to get into the audio more than anything, but we'll start here. Okay.
Riddle me this. Mm-hmm. Do girls beef in music the same way guys beef in music?
Absolutely.
You got some beefs out there?
A lot.
The toxic me.
I mean, hate the bitch.
Ooh.
Who?
The Muppy.
Child. Listen to me, okay? I never knew that she hated her. I thought they may have potentially gotten to a better place. But whenever you think things is good, somebody gonna do something. Typically that person is Tamar, and that's gonna do something and make people dislike her all over again. Like, remember the time, just like a few weeks ago, Tamar was having it out with what's her name? Lonnie. She was she was talking to Nene, and she was flashing back to her time on the real, and she brought up Lonnie Love, and she referred to Lonnie Love as some not so great things. I think she called her wide back, big back, some type of back, and or back, shall I say. And, you know, she decided, 3 weeks or so, 2 weeks after that, to come back and then apologize to Lonnie, wanting to take that back. It's everybody not going to accept apologies. Okay? Everybody's not with that. And it seems like K Michelle is on that Cardi B tip where you beef with me, we gonna beef forever. That's what's going on. But for the people that may not know about the Muppet and how it correlates to Tamar, there was a beef at once upon a time that Tamar and K Michelle got into, and she referred to Tamar as a Muppet. And that's where Tamar went on to her show The Real to talk about it, because it was something that really hurt her feelings. And I'm gonna see if I can get that clip for you guys where she talks about that. So let me see if this is the clip.
This may be something completely different, but my grandmother taught me
to
get everybody to just go away. And it's a strong reaction, but I thought, this is really interesting that you say this, Tamar, because you're so strong. You come off
let's go back just a little bit.
strong. And so I thought, you know, I didn't mean to put that pressure on you. I just thought, like, I want to ask Tamar, being a mother and being someone who still goes through it today, what advice, if it was maybe Logan growing up and dealing with it, or if you had a chance to like actually say something to that person who is bullying you, what would you say to them?
Not bullying.
How would you deal with it today?
Oh God, I feel like a terrible person.
What? Tell the truth. This is the real.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I don't have any advice to give my son because
She's still dealing with it.
Yeah.
First of all, you're a new mother. He's only 1.5. Okay? Well, in his mind, he's 2. Every time I talk, 2. You're still a new mother, so you're still growing.
But I understand that though, because when you say this so confidently about like comments and stuff, I'm not saying my reaction is yours, but I get scared. And I just stay out. I literally, you know, they say fight or flight. I flight like crazy. I go and I hide. I literally almost think like, where's the bed that I could just hide under and get everybody to just go away? And it's not a strong, I feel weak. It's not a strong reaction, but I thought, this is really interesting that you say this, Tamar, because you're so strong. You come off so strong. And so I thought, you know, I didn't mean to put that pressure on you. I just thought, like, what could I learn from you? But I didn't know that you also have that, you don't know what to do.
You know, that's so crazy. Do you think I'm strong? I think you're strong. I would have never known that you're bullied, you know? And that things that people say affect you because you move in stride like nothing's wrong and everything's good and the world is peachy cream and it tastes like strawberries. You know, no, really. And I feel like right now in this moment, I'm learning from you. So thank you for that, Jeannie, because, you know, I was just asking my husband the other day, you know, when you say, Lonnie, you know, you're just not going to talk about, you know, my girls. I know exactly what you're talking about because a particular person started saying I look like a Muppet. And people say it so much, sometimes I start to believe it. And so I even asked Vince, I'm like, do I look like a Muppet?
Oh my God. Wow.
He's like, absolutely not. But this person has the whole world calling me that. And it's just so devastating because it takes me back to high school. And, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. But what I can do is what Jeannie does. And thank you, Jeannie. I can act like the world is all peaches and cream and tastes like strawberries. And so I'm going to take that with me today. Thank you.
Stay positive.
Thank you, Sid.
All right, so y'all just heard what Tamar had to say. Tamar said, this particular person got the whole world calling me Muppet. Okay? And she said, sometimes you start to believe that you look like a Muppet. Okay? Because it's being said to you so much. That's crazy. One thing about K Michelle, when K Michelle puts one-liners out there, it is going to stick with you like Kirk and his 3 earrings. Okay? I'm Rashida. I rap like Shawty Low. And Kirk and Rashida did go on to talk about the dynamic and the connection that they did have to Shawty Low, okay? I think that Rashida could have came a bit before Shawty Low or something like that, and may have even done some things with Shawty Low. So it really was Shawty Low rapping like Rashida, but whatever it was, K Michelle was on her head top, and the people have never let it go since then, okay? But we're going to let K Michelle finish up what she has to say about Tamar, because she says that she hates her.
Like, I got into this game, and I came in on a show called Love and Hip Hop. I talked about my abuse, and I didn't say anybody's name. There was this Muppet in the corner, yapping. And even till this day, when Beyonce sent me flowers and everything, she subliminally, but not subliminal, talked about me and everything. When I go through bookings and everything, it's always her name, don't book her for shows, so you're attempting to even stop money for how I take care of my child and everything, all because of what? All because you ain't got no edges.
Whoa.
All because of your sister really the star. This is what this is about. All because of the man that you love tried to talk to me before you, in the middle of you, and after you. All because I'm from the country, but you are the bumpkin. It is always something with this loudmouth coyote. And I mind my business. I don't say much. I don't say anything, Cam. But as soon as I say something, it is this and that. I'm to the point I am for women united and all of this.
Cap.
No, I am.
Cap.
I swear for cracks and cheese. I'm for women united, but I'm tell you one thing, I'm gonna slap the fuck out of her.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Yes, I can.
That's why I say it's cap. You can't say women empowerment and then...
Yes, I can.
You can't do that.
That is a Muppet, not a woman.
No, you can't say that.
I can say that.
You can't say that. You can't... Okay, if we're talking about accountability from top to bottom...
Give it to...
We're talking about accountability from top to bottom.
Okay.
I'm not going to allow you to hold me accountable to certain things.
Accountable, come on.
That ain't it.
Let me tell you something. If I consistently for years and years have been quiet... It's like poking a bear. You can only kick a dog so much to poke you back. If I'm not saying a word and everything that is good for me, anything good happens to me, you manage to get in the media and be negative when it comes to me. You're always negative towards women. Guess what? One thing I can play fool. I can play cool, but I can't play fool.
But understand this, though, okay? Everything about what you've been doing on this platform has been pushing love and pushing acceptance and pushing accountability.
Yes.
But now, you can't say what you said and not expect.
You ain't finna let nobody coming from Atlanta, Georgia. You can sit up here all you want to with your hands crossed and be great. You not gonna let anybody consistently keep playing with you, even when you've offered your hand in peace and you've offered your hand in love and you're minding your business and you're not even coming for them and they consistently try you at every corner, at every turn. You're not gonna let that happen.
Okay.
You're just not. You are a man and you're gonna stand there. We don't have to resort to violence or any of that. I get
right, because you did say that you was gonna slap the out of that lady. I'm just telling you what you said, okay?
that. But if you consistently behind closed doors, like when the world isn't watching, you're still poking at somebody. 3 years consistent and they don't say a word.
Okay.
At some point, I have to defend myself.
Say less.
And at some point, I have to show you where the hell I'm from. Memphis, Tennessee, and I have to show you I'm not, it can't continue.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take that as a sign that we need to move on.
Yeah, we're gonna take that as a sign, nuck if you buck.
Okay, Lord Jesus.
In Atlanta terms.
Lord Jesus.
I can't. Okay, so try. If Tamar never met her match before, she definitely met it in K. Michelle, and it's a terrible thing. You know, this has been going on for over 5 years where they do not like each other. It's like, I feel like every 2 years or so, there's some type of beef that pops up between these two. And I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but people have always had some stuff to say about Miss Tamar. Right. And I don't know. I've never met her before. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I would want to think that she's not as bad as people are saying, but just 2 years ago, I think Jesse Wu was going in on her because of something that happened between the both of them. So it's like, girl, it's always some type of story or something out there with Tamar. Then you had the husband calling her out for her BS. Okay. trying to portray things out to be one way when the whole time y'all about to got a divorce and all this and that. So he over there airing her out. Then you got the situation she having with Kandi and Todd and stuff. And it's just not like, at some point I'm gonna want to be out the mess. Okay. At some point, I ain't saying fade completely to the background, but I'm gonna want to be out the mess. And a lot of times when we see Tamar resurface, she always tries to resurface as if she's been going to therapy and she's been doing better and I'm doing this and that and I've been working on myself and I'm good and I just don't have time anymore and I don't even care about that and I'm not paying attention and this and that. But then you get on yet another platform and then you're throwing shade and being rude and all of that to somebody that ain't even discussing you like Lonnie Love. So I don't know, child. It's just a mess. It's not a good look, but I wish her the best and hope that she never ever runs into K. Michelle, because I never want to hear that K. Michelle was arrested for slapping the fuck out of Tamar, as she said. But either way, honey, good luck. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below about everything we talked about when it comes to Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then also with K. Michelle and Tamar. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cash died at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Aegis. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I could face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over. I'm Invader Zim, on a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film. I can fill a pool, we gon' make them swim.